50 people are expected to be out of a job, according to sources. We have a reaction from the mayor of Thunder Bay. Plus,
hit the curb, hit the stones, and flew the 20, 30 feet through the window.
A dramatic crash caught on video. We're hearing from the homeowners tonight, describing the moment a car came flying into their house. And
for some people having some fun, it does put a lot of people at risk.
the Scarborough Bluffs may be beautiful to look at, but people just aren't getting the message when it comes to safety. Good evening, I'm Mike Wise. Word came late this afternoon that hundreds of workers that help make Toronto's new streetcar fleet at Bombardier's Thunder Bay plant could be losing their jobs. Let's bring on our Natalie Nanowski. She's been following the story for us. Natalie.
So, Mike, we've learned that it could be anywhere between 500 to 1,000 jobs cut, and that is going to happen sometime in the fourth quarter. Now, this could be all due to the fact that the company's two major contracts are ending. The first is with producing GO trains for Metrolinx, and the other one is for building Toronto's new fleet of streetcars. So we contacted Bombardier and asked the company to talk about this, but they declined to comment. Last month, however, they did tell CBC that even though layoffs were on the horizon, Bombardier remains committed to Thunder Bay and is actively looking for another contract for the city's employees. Now, Ontario's Transportation Minister Caroline Mulroney sent us this statement. Our government has spoken to executives at Bombardier to express our disappointment that their company has taken this step. We urge the company to work with the provincial government to come to an agreement that would see jobs remain at the Thunder Bay plant. We also did speak with Thunder Bay's mayor. He says he knew Bombardier's two big contracts were ending and that he's been working very hard with the government to somehow figure out how to keep jobs in his city.
We saw these contracts ending, and so as mayor now in the city, and through the union obviously being a big help as well, we have been working very hard with TTC and with Metrolinx and with the province directly and the relevant ministers to advise them that the contracts were coming to an end and to see what they could do to work with TTC and Metrolinx if more procurement was coming.
Our Toronto's Transit Commission hasn't said whether there's another contract in the works, but it says that it believes Bombardier will deliver the remaining streetcars to the city on time. However, as you can all remember, that hasn't been the case in the past. Bombardier failed to meet its deadlines in Toronto, sparking a lot of criticism. For the last 2 years, however, we do know that the company has been trying to turn its reputation around, and that's meant massive restructuring. It meant also massive job cuts, but it also included loans from both the federal and provincial government. The provincial government of Quebec, I mean. Mike, back to you.
Okay, Natalie, thanks for following this for us tonight. And some tense moments today as an illegal cannabis shop was raided by authorities. It was part of a chain with other locations that had been shut down but managed to reopen. Lorenda Redekop tells us why officials are hoping that won't happen again this time.
Get me in my house! I want you just want to go upstairs. Stay. I want in my house!
Anger and frustration. Police and bylaw officers raid the cannabis shop Cafe on Harbord. Jeff Brody says he lives in the apartment above it, sharing the same entrance.
I don't have anything to do with downstairs. I work. I'm a subcontractor. I got cheap rent here. I can't find anywhere else to go tonight.
Officers emerged with a huge haul: edibles, dried marijuana, and cash. The head of enforcement for the city says it's one of 12 unlicensed pot shops still operating, way down from more than 90 pre-legalization. But this shop is part of a chain. Other stores have been raided, then quickly reopened.
There's too much money in this for them to make illegally, and it's an illegal enterprise of some sort, and they're not going to just close up shop and disappear into the night.
The city's latest move is to try to make it a heavy lift for unlicensed shops to open again.
Now the concrete blocks have arrived. We've seen this happen previously with other raids, and a locksmith has already blocked the front door.
But no luck for authorities this time. Overhead power wires made it too difficult for the crane operator. Jeff Brody's lawyer has represented another client, also living in an apartment connected to a cafe storefront.
His home is a separate entity from the marijuana dispensary. That is what my focus is.
He plans to challenge a new provincial law, allowing police to close not just businesses, but also the connected homes. It was seen as a loophole.
Why can't they shut it down and keep it shut down? Why is this happening? If I made illegal booze and I opened a store right here and tried to sell it, they would shut me down in 3 minutes.
All day, cafe staff ushered customers to black SUVs, not impressed with the TV cameras. Authorities say they're being shuttled to another store location. Lorenda Redicop, CBC News, Toronto.
As we first told you last night, Hamilton police are investigating the death of a woman in what is being called a suspicious fire. It broke out last night in an apartment building on Beach Road.
On the second floor, they encountered a heavy fire in one of the rooms at the northwest corner of the building. They then continued to search and they came across a victim.
The woman hasn't been identified. 2 dogs also died in the fire. Now, police say an ongoing landlord-tenant dispute may have led up to the fire, but they don't believe the woman who died had anything to do with that. Investigators say she was likely couch surfing. A man and a woman were arrested overnight, but they were released without any charges. Durham police releasing security video tonight of an arson. It happened early in the morning on July 3rd in Oshawa near Ritson Road and Beatrice Street. You can actually see the suspect approach a car, pour an accelerant on it, and then set it on fire. Another vehicle had its front tires slashed. Fortunately, no one was injured. Investigators are asking anyone who may have witnessed what happened to contact them. And we have a food recall to tell you about tonight. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency issuing a recall of Eat Smart's sweet kale vegetable salad bag. That's due to possible listeria contamination. The recall applies to the salad bag kits sold across Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritime provinces. Affected bags have a best before date listed as July 17th, 2019. The CFIA says that food contaminated by listeria may not look or smell spoiled, but it can still make someone very sick. Colette Kennedy's here with the first look at the forecast. Another great summer day today, but humidity on tap for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Our old friend humidity is going to start creeping back into the picture here. And, you know, it's when these dew points start to come up, so the moisture content in the air starts to rise. This just kind of gives you an idea. So when you're talking about dew points that start to get into that 15, 16, 17 range, it starts to get a little more humid. We kind of see that through the day tomorrow, but by tomorrow evening, we're approaching that 18, 19, so we're into muggy, not quite all the way to oppressive. However, the beginning of next week, we may start to get back towards those kind of numbers when we're going to start to see the humidexes then popping up closer to 40 and beyond. So for now, southwestern Ontario into a heat warning, areas around Windsor, Chatham, Kent, for you guys, Leamington. So through Thursday, tomorrow into Thursday, those humidex values near 40, but the highs in the low 30s and overnight lows near the 20s. Now, another dry day for the most part on tap as high pressure, though, sliding away. So late in the day into the afternoon, southwestern Ontario, a slim chance for some scattered showers. Otherwise, just some increasing cloud as we get back towards the GTA. And then after that, it's into Thursday, much greater chance for seeing precipitation. And I'll kind of go through that coming up a little bit later in the show. Overnight tonight, I'll go through your temperature there. 18 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow afternoon, 30 degrees, but feeling like 36, Mike.
Going to be a scorcher. Okay, thanks, Colette.
You're welcome.
The City of Toronto released some staggering statistics today about the number of firefighters, trucks, and resources needed every time someone needs some help after trying to climb the Scarborough Bluffs in search of an Instagram-worthy selfie. Last year alone, there were 16 rescues needed, each one requiring an average of 25 firefighters. As Ali Chasson tells us, first responders are fed up.
The beautiful bluffs, Toronto's slice of breathtaking beach landscape, providing Instagram-worthy backdrops for influencers and tourists alike. To get those photos, They risk fines up to $10,000, but they also risk their lives trespassing.
So we have 4 bags here that we'll bring out.
It's firefighters like Graham Weston who have to go out and save the people who get stuck or fall.
So this is our gear that we have for our bluff call or rope call.
When there is a rescue happening, how many people are there?
It's a manpower heavy rescue, if you will. There's a lot of safety procedures that are set up. It takes a lot of people to do it safely and properly.
And a lot of resources. Last year, Toronto Fire responded to 16 rescue calls at the Bluffs. 413 firefighters were dispatched, who logged 382 hours of heavy rescue, requiring 123 fire trucks. All resources that should otherwise be on call for other emergencies.
For some people having some fun, it does put a lot of people at risk.
Including the firefighters.
Including the firefighters. So when we arrive, we will have to find where the person is on the bluffs, which can be hard in itself.
Yeah?
2 anchors out, and then we can set our lines, our safety lines, and our working lines off of there. If we have to send someone out, put the harness on.
So then you're rappelling off the side?
Lowered, yep.
So I see we have some of these drying off.
Yeah, so when the ropes are used, they're usually pretty dirty. So they just get washed in our extractor, and these ones are just hanging from the rescue they had a few days ago.
Yeah, 2 teens, a recent call.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity to get that message out there for people, not to take that risk. What do you say to them?
Yeah, don't do it. Don't take the risk. You're putting yourself in danger. You're putting a lot of other people in danger. It might look neat and fun, but it's not.
No doubt the Scarborough Bluffs are a beautiful place to see, but only from a safe distance. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
The city promptly tried to fix it, and I'm saying tried because it didn't quite work.
It's become an annual annoyance near DuPont and Avenue. A sinkhole is back. The same one residents turned into a makeshift garden patch last year. Why this problem just keeps sprouting up after the break.
I'm just excited about the parade. I can't wait. I can't wait to have fun with my friends and have a good time.
Well, it is almost that time of year again. The Toronto Caribbean Carnival had its official launch today at Nathan Phillips Square. The big draw is always the grand parade on the August long weekend, but this year organizers are trying to stop the public from what they call storming the parade. The new initiative is called Respect the Parade, and it aims to keep the dancers safe.
Performance. They're not inviting you to come in to be part of what they're doing. They're inviting you to take a look to see exactly what a culture is like and how we express ourselves as a culture. And that's literally what it's all about.
To help the public enjoy the parade safely, there will be 6 zones along the route. They will have spots to eat, listen to music, have a beer, and watch the parade from bleachers. Today's launch marks the 52nd year for the festival. And an anniversary of a different sort to tell you about. For the 2nd year in a row, residents living near DuPont and Avenue Road are dealing with a pothole that just won't go away. They are so frustrated, some residents have set up their own traffic cones to warn drivers. That's a little different from the strategy they used last year. Magda Gebrselassie explains.
Residents in this neighborhood got creative last year by planting tomatoes in the sinkhole to get the city's attention, and it worked. There were pictures posted everywhere. City crews eventually showed up, moving the tomatoes out of the way, fixing the hole, or so we thought. In fact, the sinkhole has reappeared this year. I talked to a resident in the area about all that was done last year to bring attention to this.
We had tomatoes growing in there. I guess it was a way to bring attention to the problem, and I think it's a kind of a lighthearted way to go about it. It came back again this year, and the city promptly tried to fix it, and I'm saying tried because it didn't quite work. We have people working there right now because it's a major problem.
So crews have been here all day trying to get to the root of the problem, and they believe they have figured it out this time. Here's Bill Shea from the city.
We came out again, found this sinkhole again. We've now excavated down to find that there was an abandoned sewer pipe down there that has collapsed. So the first time around, we had done some sewer repairs, didn't realize that this was here. It's not even on our system. The sewer pipe has collapsed and caused a sinkhole from the top. This sinkhole, you know, I vow will not be back again, nor will the tomatoes.
As you can see, they're filling up the hole now, and the rest of the work on this road should be complete sometime this week. Magda Gebrselassie, CBC News, Toronto.
We are hearing for the first time tonight from some Mississauga homeowners who had a car slam into their family home this past weekend. It was a moment captured in some dramatic security video, but what that footage doesn't capture is how their lives have been turned upside down ever since. Greg Ross has the story.
This is the moment a car smashed right through the front of a Mississauga home on Sunday evening.
Like an action movie that I was watching.
Bridget Maria Anthony lives here with her family, including her son Alan, who had recently installed security cameras that captured multiple angles of the crash.
You see how it hit the curb, hit the stones, and flew the 20-30 feet through the window into the house.
Alan says nobody was home at the time except their 2 dogs, Rocky and Tiger.
I don't know if they got hit, but they were running back and forth, and then they ran straight up to the room after we tried to talk to them over the security camera.
Neither the dogs nor the driver of the car were seriously hurt, but the house has seen better days. This is what it looked like inside that front room when they arrived home.
It literally wiped out almost this entire wall.
Oh, yes. That was, entire wall. The car was out to here. All the tables and furniture that we had in here was just mangled.
Alan has been dealing with contractors who tell him repairs will take at least a month.
They're going to have to rip apart the ceiling, the rooms, because it was a structural damage. So they're saying we can't live here. We actually have to move out.
Now they need a temporary place to live that is pet-friendly, and Alan says he's not sure how to deal with 2 massive fish tanks he maintains in the home.
I mean, it has to stay here. I'm going to probably see if I can cover it up so they don't get any of the construction materials over here and dust.
The family is doing their best to look on the bright side. They say things could have been worse.
The city supervisor came and told us, he was like, he didn't hit your foundation, which is very good, because if he hit your foundation and he broke the structure, that would have been a complete write-off.
But Bridget admits the last 2 nights have been stressful and sleepless.
Right now, at this moment, we're just mentally and physically down.
The driver of the car that hit their house has been charged with careless driving. Greg Ross, CBC News, Mississauga.
I'm a Blue Jay today, man. In this beautiful ballpark on a beautiful day, you got to be a Blue Jay.
Okay, we know it's Throwback Thursday on Instagram, but tonight we're giving you a Throwback Tuesday to 28 years ago in 1991. It's the last time Toronto hosted the MLB All-Star Game, back when we used to call it the Sky Dome. We'll show you more, as well as highlights from tonight's All-Star Game, after the break.
The weather update is brought to you by Train Extreme Conditions Testing. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. Train, the most reliable heating and cooling brand.
Cleveland getting to host the 90th Midsummer Classic tonight. The American League scoring first. Michael Brantley smacking a double to the gap to score Houston's Alex Bregman. It's jumped to the sixth. It's 2-0 when the National League breaks the goose egg. Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies hitting one over the wall in right center field. No Blue Jays in the lineup tonight, but Canadian Mike Soroka made an appearance on the mound. He's the 6th Canadian to appear in an All-Star game. It's bottom of the 8th. Last night's home run derby winner Pete Alonso singles on a line drive. That scores 2 runs, but the American League would hold on to win this one 4-3. Colette is back with their extended forecast. And those nights in February when we're talking about really bitterly cold weather, it's days like tomorrow we're going to have to remember.
Yes, we will have to remember days like tomorrow when this humidity's coming back, starts to feel kind of muggy, and we're also seeing the temperature climbing up as well. So the heat really back in a few ways, but that humidity means you'll be glad to have, if you do, some air conditioning available. Late day clouds, though, we'll see those starting to push in, and then it's more into Thursday that we'll see some of these showers or thunderstorms coming through the area. I say more into Thursday. There's a very slim chance, especially just around the central southern parts of the Golden Horseshoe, that tomorrow afternoon, and also about a 30% chance into southwestern Ontario that tomorrow afternoon there could be some isolated showers. Primarily, it comes after that as the next system will move in. So we're still talking about sunshine to start the day off, a few clouds building a little later into the day on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, and then as we get closer to Thursday is when this next system is coming in. So it really looks like not till about mid-morning we'll start to see some scattered showers developing, the cold front coming through a little bit later into the afternoon. That's where we'll have the greater chance for some of that lift and getting into some thunderstorm activity. And then by the later evening, it will clear away and take the precipitation with us. But you're definitely going to want to have an umbrella handy for Thursday. Just be prepared for that. Also with that risk of seeing or hearing a little bit of thunder and seeing some lightning through here. Then as we go into Friday, we'll see a clearing trend and the air mass dries out again, but it's kind of short-lived because the dew points will start to move up again towards the weekend. Overnight tonight in southwestern Ontario, not quite 20 degrees for your overnight low, but you're going to find we get into the 20s as you get towards tomorrow night for those lows. That slim chance for some showers in the afternoon. You see those temperatures going into those low 30s, but the humidex closer towards 40. Not too bad. Temperatures running 3 to 4 degrees above seasonal for the overnight lows for the GTA. Looking like that. And tomorrow afternoon, that humidex up to about 36. The temperatures going closer towards 30 degrees. And then into Thursday, the humidity, even though the temperature down a couple of degrees, that humidity increasing a little bit, feeling 38 to 40. So really getting muggier into Thursday. Friday, though, sunshine, comfortable. More like today, really, into Friday, 26. Saturday, late day, we could get into a few isolated showers or thunderstorms. Otherwise, at this time, it's really looking like we're actually going to have a nice weekend, just getting stickier as we go, especially as we approach Monday, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Colette.
You're welcome.
Baseball fans in Cleveland still no doubt living the excitement of hosting the Major League Baseball All-Star Game tonight. That is something Toronto got to experience on this exact date 28 years ago, as well as for several days in the lead up to it.
He's a hard man to deal with, but I think we made a deal.
It was a card collector's bonanza. We dug through our archives tonight to revisit some of the festivities that helped Toronto mark the 1991 All-Star Game and All-Star Week. The convention center filled with memorabilia and all sorts of souvenirs and keepsakes, with the then Sky Dome even hosting an old-timers game the day before the All-Star match. It was only the second time ever for the All-Star Game to be held outside of the United States. The American League won that game 4-2. The winning pitcher was the Blue Jays' Jimmy Key. That's our newscast for tonight. Mukhtar Gebrselassie will be here tomorrow night. We want to leave you, though, with the sounds of the Toronto Concert Orchestra at Casa Loma tonight. They're performing the music of Queen. You can catch them perform music every Tuesday until the end of August. Have a great night.